Please welcome Joyce.
Thank you, Julie. Good morning, everyone. You beautiful, wise women. I am so honored and humbled and excited to be with you today. Like many psychotherapists, I came into my profession because of my own family of origin experiences. Dysfunctional family, trauma, conflict, and I came into the profession dealing with a lot of anxiety and imposter syndrome. I actually thought that my admission to the graduate program was an error. I had extreme social anxiety, and as I read the books and listened to the lectures, I thought, oh my goodness, this is me. This is my family. And I was really concerned that my professors were going to see that I personally deal with an anxiety disorder and that they'd say, you can't be a therapist because you have your own mental health issues. Well, thankfully, they knew that, of course, we all have mental health, just like we have physical health, and they encouraged us to seek our own personal counseling and therapy, and I found it transformational. And I have dedicated my life over the past 25 years to counseling tens of thousands of clients. And my favorite thing about it is getting the privilege and the honor of knowing people so intimately. It's such a deep gift. And my favorite part is to mirror back to them everything that is unique and beautiful and special about them, and helping them silence that inner saboteur and align with their unique gifts and align those gifts with the need in the world to the greatest extent possible. And so my hope and intention today is to inspire you and empower you to step into your own personal power in a heart-centered way so that you can live, lead, and succeed with power and heart. How does that sound? Yay! And I want us to honor that we have been living through what I call the great exhaustion. So over the past several years, we've been dealing with chronic uncertainty and change and overwhelm. And we've had the pandemic, we've had the rise of AI, we've had political divide and unrest, and global conflict. And this has caused tremendous overwhelm and burnout and exhaustion. And I am here today. My intention today is to invite you to use the state of depletion and exhaustion as an invitation to change, an invitation to stop the busyness and to step into your power, to say no, to do the work that is aligned with your soul, your unique essence. And we need to honor what we've been through over the past several years. And it's a wake-up call for us to step into our personal power, to step away from fear and into courage, and to live and lead differently, to live in alignment rather than exhausting ourselves, and to redefine success as holistic success that includes health and wellness. And we can do it. It's hard work. I've done it myself. I've supported thousands of women in doing this work. I started a business with $500, 50,000 of student loans, made 1,000 mistakes, ended up in cash flow hell, was facing bankruptcy, and I used tools from my clinical training and the support of so many other people like you to turn the ship around. And it is my passion and my mission to help you transform your life in these types of ways. So, what I'm recommending is a revolution, the Infusion Revolution. Let's do it, right? How does that sound? No more hustle, no more forcing, no more drive. We are shifting into infusing ourselves. We cannot wait for other people to give us our power, to teach us our worth. It is internal, and we can infuse ourselves with power and heart. On this slide here, I have 12 mindsets that are empirically proven to improve both mental well-being, connected relationships, and financial prosperity. I hired a PhD researcher to help me with my book, The Financial Mindset Fix. And these skills we're going to go through today because half of them relate to power and half of them relate to heart. So this is an opportunity for you to recharge, replenish your battery using these techniques. Power is not about control or domination over others. I am talking about our unique light, our fire within, our personal empowerment. And it includes these 6 pillars, which are 6 of the 12 that I just showed you that lead to holistic success. And the first, related to power, is abundance. So shifting from scarcity to abundance and knowing that there's more than enough love, resources, jobs, clients, money for all of us. And that we don't have to be fearful and competitive. We can be collaborative and hopeful. And we also want to shift into awareness. Self-awareness is a huge part of our personal growth and journey. So becoming conscious of our thoughts and our behaviors and the patterns we unconsciously repeat so that we can become aware and choose something better. Responsibility. I've had a lot of people sit on my couch and complain about other people. And I've done it myself. My mother starred in all my first therapy sessions. And then when I went back to therapy, I talked a lot about my ex-husband. And it wasn't until I had a good therapist that said, hey, Joyce, what about you? And what are you contributing to these relationships? Because that's all we have control over. So we have to take the reins of our lives, shifting from an external locus of control where we think the weather, the economy, the government, our boss, our partner determine our life course, and we become the author and not just the protagonist of our own life story. It also involves having a vision, and in therapy we talk about the miracle question. So I always encourage you to aim high and imagine the biggest and greatest life for yourself, because the most you get is what you ask for. And if you think small and you have self-limitation, you're not only harming yourself, but you're keeping the world from your gifts. And the world needs each and every one of us to shine our gifts brightly, especially now. Positivity is a mindset of looking at the good side, practicing gratitude, refusing to give up, having that faith that things will work out. And it is a practice, it's a devotion. And finally, resilience. And resilience is the ability to bounce back and persevere and move through. We all go through failures and setbacks. And so we need to use our resilience to foster and get back up. Now that we've talked about power, we're going to talk about heart, because that's part of the Infusion Revolution. And heart is what gives our power purpose. So these are the 6 pillars of heart. The first being presence. So if you practice mindfulness, it can help you stop ruminating about the past or worrying about the uncertainty of the future and getting grounded in the here and now, facilitating equanimity and mental calmness. so that you can make emotionally conscious choices rather than reactive decisions in your life. Essence is when we learn to detach from our egos. We all have egos as part of the human condition, and connect with our light. So it's detaching from our mind chatter, from our inner critic, from our imposter syndrome and perfectionism, and connecting with that unique light and fire within. Compassion. I believe our journey to self-love is perhaps life's greatest lesson. So learning to relate to yourself with self-forgiveness, with loving compassion, self-care, and self-advocacy. And also to have empathy and compassion for others. That is the key to success in all relationships. Self-love, becoming your own good parent in terms of how you sleep, how you eat, how you work, the relationships that you choose. Your own best friend, learning to cut yourself some slack and have your own back. And also to be your own compassionate advocate or coach, to push you to be greater and do more, because your potential is unlimited. I fully believe that, and I support you in embracing that. But in order to reach our potential, it's imperative to have support. That was my biggest mistake in my business when I was facing bankruptcy. I did not seek proper business and financial consultation. And it was out of fear and ego and shame and financial avoidance. And it wasn't until I opened myself up with humility and I asked for help that help came out of the woodwork, and it transformed my entire life. It refuels our cup. And as women, we're so often caretakers. We prioritize our loved ones, our work, our communities, and we neglect ourselves. And we have to reverse that. So, I have a call to action for you about power, about stepping into your own power. And power is not something that is given to us. It is something that we claim. So I want you to shift from blame to responsibility, from helplessness. Sorry, I'm having challenges with my clicker. I'm not sure where to point it. From blame to empowerment. You know, sometimes we blame other people, but if we take responsibility and we practice forgiveness, we free ourselves. So forgiving ourselves, forgiving others, emancipating ourselves from that, and becoming that author of our own life story. And shifting from helplessness. We can all feel bogged down and like, gosh, there's not much I can do to get out of this situation, but you can, and I want that for you. And it takes a lot of self-love. It takes a lot of courage. I've helped so many clients come into their power, and it requires honoring your previous traumas and grieving those losses and honoring how they've shaped and molded you and shifting into caring enough about yourself to welcome the life that you deserve, to change your story and change your legacy. And it's not easy work, but if you're committed to it, you can transform your life professionally, financially, relationally. I was in a marriage before that was really hard. And I was exhausted and depleted, and it took a lot of courage because I have children that I love to leave that marriage and welcome the life that I deserve with a partner that is mutually supportive and loving and present. So evaluating your life, what do you need to do? And I want you to think to yourself, what do you need to do? One thing to claim your power today. So now we are talking about heart. And heart is what gives power purpose. And so I want you to recognize you deserve to be seen, you deserve to be supported, and you deserve to be celebrated. And this really does start with you choosing how you're going to be more kind to yourself. How you eat, how you exercise, how you sleep, the relationships and the work that you choose, how you save and invest your money, all of that. It is a choice. You deserve it. You are innately deserving of all that is good. And I also want you to think about, how can you be more loving? I know we're exhausted, but how can you dig deep and be more loving and embrace that? So as we wrap up, I would like you to put down your phones, put your feet on the floor, take a deep breath, gently close your eyes or have a soft gaze downward. And I'd like you to turn your attention inward, taking a nice deep breath in, down to your belly, and out through your nose, slowly calming and relaxing your breath. And I'd like you to take your right hand and place it over your heart. And I'd like you to thank yourself for taking care of yourself through the past several years, which have been very challenging, and honoring what you have been through personally, professionally, and financially. And wrap yourself with a tremendous amount of self-love and compassion. I want you to take your other hand and place it on your belly. And I want you to imagine that behind your hand is your flame, your unique light. For many of us, that light is a bit dim right now, and that's okay. But I want you to breathe in deeply what it is that you need, whether it's hope or faith or strength or support or love or prosperity, and breathe out all that is no longer serving you. All the yuck, all the fear, all the anxiety, all of what you may be holding for others. And taking one more deep cleansing breath, I would like you to slide your hands to your opposite shoulders, giving yourself a hug, and squeezing yourself, and thanking yourself, and knowing that your journey begins with you really loving yourself. And so now I want you to place your hands on your lap again, wiggle your fingers, and come back to the room. And now I'd like you to stand up. Now that we've hugged ourselves, I want you to hug one or two women next to you. All right, huggers, it's time to come back here. So we're going to live, lead, and succeed and rise together. Thank you.